Hello everybody tuning in. There should be ample time enough for the stream to go live. So because of the day that we had to stop a little before I was prepared to, and in that same stream we had actually appended a side story at the beginning of it, we have kind of gotten to the point where it's hard to catch back up, like with the patch, to the point where we're doing a single patch every stream. And that's unfortunate, but just doing part of a patch for a stream would not amount to much. So today, the most likely outcome is that we will finish patch 2.3, and then we will get a significant way through patch 2.4. I don't know that it's really realistic that we'll get through 2.4, but that is the adventurous goal that we would be undertaking. So that's what we have in store for today. I believe that last time we left without taking our quest, so we have to find, I believe Minfilia has our next quest. We'll see what that amounts to. Look at that. Greetings, Soapy. Alphinaud tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's toll of late, and I wonder if Slathborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught that he requires? You bet. I love old Slaffy. Slaffy Daffy. What can I do for you, Soapy? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new Armor of the Scions. Ha, I barely noticed your recruits arrived. 'Twas barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters. While I appreciate you offer aid, 'tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Slathborn, the shipment! We couldn't... These Domans? God's woman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as I sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were too many! We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Please forgive us. There is not to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. To do. Heretics are involved, and it's likely to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House Fortemp. We've collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead. Understood. I'll see if they are appraised of this development. Soapy, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Fortemp? I'll be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Hey, you bet. I haven't seen Haurchefant in a while. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Haurchefant will be glad of your assistance. With all of that said, I don't much care for this area. Haurchefant, my fellow, I won't step on your table today.
'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day.
The thing about a religion.
This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name.
Religions like to be organized.
What we do know is that the Heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait?
Implacable? Upstairs, then? Well, as lights said, up we go. Hello, Dromont. Soapy, is there aught you would ask of me? Pray speak plainly. I am a man of action that needs no honeyed words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the Fury, you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their numbers. They strike swiftly, without warning, and are canny enough to evade most of our trackers. It is not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influences Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grips of righteous fervor. It is an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhap you could care to question one of the recent victims? Alright, I can do that. It's interesting. We talk about this loyalty and fervor, an unnatural fervor. Sounds a lot like a primal tempering. Tell you what happened? Why, yes, of course. I am quite recovered enough for that. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Armor, arms, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over, better acquainted my head with his mates. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me running off in pursuit. And then there are crystals. Sounds more and more like primal businesses. There's some guards. I'm not sure if that's a four-stomp shield. I don't think it is. Those are definitely Ishgardian soldiers. House Durandare, that's whose sigil that is. Gah, draw your weapon. Oh, wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You are coming to seek heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they're gone. Vanished like icy wraiths. Oh. Soapy saw him. Oh. Oh, I jumped over your table. I'm so sorry.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart?
He's so eccentric. Such a good guy, though.
Indeed. And this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the Heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, The situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion.
Oh, not the Temple Knights.
Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
You're good people, Haurchefant. Even if you are a weird ass. Alright, back to Revenant's Toll then? While you were away in Coerthas, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Tataru does yet seem somewhat flustered. Ah, Soapy, you startled me! You wish to lend a hand? Splendid! Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? You up top? Get down here and put your clothes on. Oh, Laurentis, what a good guy. I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Ah, our new uniforms. He's such a goofball. Oh my gosh. Nope. I fail to see what engages their attention, so...
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphinaud. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready. I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon.
I thought she was talking to Urianger. Who is she talking to?
When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Hydaelyn's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. Winds are uncommonly fierce this day. Oh, it's the first time we're seeing this guy. Must be looking at Ishgard right now. Ascian and the emissary. What is it, Soapy? And do be concise, I am rather busy. You would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to any of my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor, though we are but newly formed, there's already a great demand for our service, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions, but I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. I have entrusted this action's resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, Soapy. You bet. Hello, Ilberd.
Hail to you, sire. How might we serve you?
Alphinaud said, tell me the deets.
Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence.
We're going to steal Omega.
Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Raubahn of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
I gotta say, I don't like man I just met telling me not to trust man I've known since the beginning of the game. Raubahn's a good guy. On the other hand, it's gonna be interesting to see 3 male Hyur Highlanders all just, you know, main scenario questing along with each other. I think Ilberd's taller than me. That's baloney. Oh no, I'm right about the same as him. Maybe just barely. I have my slider up to 100, so I was surprised when he seemed taller than me. Oops. Sorry, Raubahn, didn't mean to step on you.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Raubahn. It has been a while.
Been a while.
Ilberd, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears.
I forgot they were friends.
But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not?
And also, Soapy was
Lest
here.
you wonder, Ilberd and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Balls, balls.
Bah! Spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Ilberd, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway.
No, keep praising me.
I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'Dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monitarists have been in league with the Empire from the first? Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland.
It's interesting, I didn't know Ilberd was the one that, like, told Raubah's story. Rather, I didn't remember it.
Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Raubah's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
Ooh. But yeah, that's interesting. I was wondering when we were going to hear his story. I did not think it was going to come from Ilberd's mouth. Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest, Scion. Suffice it to say, we must tread warily, but one misstep may well cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let us return to the Rising Stones. Okay. And it may yet take time, but I will not rest until we've identified and apprehended the Ivy. I have every confidence you will succeed, Captain. As for you, Soapy, I realize you have scarce caught your breath, but I'm afraid there's no rest for the weary. I require you to accompany me to Coerthas. I have been granted an audience with an Ishgardian dignitary, you see, and the man expressly requests your presence. Oh, do not look so surprised. You should be familiar with the trappings of fame by now. Do I look surprised? I expect it. Antecedent, I take it Soapy has explained the situation? He has. Yet welcome though these overtures are, I cannot help but wonder what prompted them. Why reach out now? Would that I knew. The question of their motives is one which I have given no small amount of thought. Alas, I know no more than is generally known. The notoriously reclusive nation of Ishgard, situated at the center of Albathia's spine, ruled by the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, at the head of which presides the Archbishop. Members of the original Eorzean Alliance formed in the wake of Alamigo's fall some 2 decades ago. Friends of convenience who withdrew from the Alliance as soon as the Imperial fleet was routed at the Battle of Silver Tier Skies. Since which time their borders have remained closed to all outsiders. They have rejected every one of their former allies' calls to reopen dialogue, turning a deaf ear to their neighbors' pleas, even when the calamity loomed large. And on the fields of Cartno, where brave men and women laid down their lives in defense of the realm, their banners were conspicuously absent. I have tried to convince Ishgard to rejoin the Alliance at every opportunity. I have explained over and over again that unless Eorzea stands united, we cannot hope to preserve our freedom. And what have mine efforts yielded? Why, not. Surely this can be considered a step in the right direction. I should hope so. Rather than the lowly messengers we have been fobbed off with in the past, this time we shall meet with a man of genuine influence. Of course, I am not so naive as to think that they come to us out of the goodness of their hearts. We have something to desire, though I have yet to find out what. But such is the nature of diplomacy, they will bring their agendas to the negotiation table, and so will I, along with a handful of incontrovertible truths. The Empire will soon be at our doorstep once more. Indeed, you may be assured that I will expound upon this point and others. Let us depart for Camp Dragonhead, Soapy. Our friend Lord Haurchefant is expecting us. Since our quest to recover the Enterprise, I understand you have further integrated yourself with the man. Excellent work. Hey, I wasn't doing anything political like that. I just like the guy. Oh. It can be the last time we talk to this guy. We have been expecting you, sir. Pray take your ease inside, and I shall summon the others. Interested about these voice actors.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Look at those elves.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alphinaud Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Ser Aymeric. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the primal menace. The beast tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean Alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Coerthas, the Ixal do not concern us. The territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Fortemp has offered to Revenant's toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Ser Aymeric, we would be in your debt.
No, you would not, for I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgardsormr.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal.
That's what I was thinking.
Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this?
The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord.
What? By the Fury! All our precautions were for naught?
I'm here, let me at her. My sincerest apologies for the interruption, my friends, but the situation is such that we must act swiftly. If you would be so kind as to elaborate. Iceheart's heretics fell upon the caravan bound for Revenant's Toll as it was passing through Boulder Downs. It was an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant every knight was slain, every crate seized. Then as quickly as they appeared they were gone. It would be an impossible feat without knowledge of the route, knowledge to which only a select few are privy, I presume. Quite. We can pursue that avenue of inquiry in due course. It seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush would be our first concern. The trail is yet warm. We must act swiftly, as Lord Haurchefant said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truth, Soapy. Why don't you go and inspect the ambush site in person? An excellent idea. Inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. Yes, that's what I wanted. You come to talk about the attack, haven't you? We came upon them before an entrance in the Hall of the Seven Echoes. Pilgrims we marked them as, lost and ill-equipped for a journey further north. Our leader called out to them and one stepped forward to answers. Slowly she approached, her silver hair flowing in the wind like melting snow. Just a young girl, I thought. Some lost lamb. Our leader must have thought the same, else why would he let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I couldn't hear and she leaned forward as if to kiss his cheek, and then he sighed and crumpled to the ground. I didn't know what had happened till I saw the snow turn red. And then there was red everywhere I looked. I tried to fight, but it took a blow to the... When I came to, the others were dead and the heretics were unloading the wagon. They'd have killed me, so I just laid there still and listened. Iceheart's people spoke of deliverance and resurrection. They spoke of Shiva. Oh my goodness. It seems Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Who is the Shiva the heretics spoke of? Have you not read a single line of the Echiridion? Shiva was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who lay with dragons. Now, we cannot expect all foreigners to know Ishgardian scripture so well. Wait, you say she is their patron saint? Oh no, it all makes sense now. Lord Haurchefant, what was the caravan's cargo? As if I recall correctly, Diamond Forge had requested a large quantity of crystals. Do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva as a beast tribe with a primal. I shall inform the Lord Commander at once. Lord Haurchefant, you would agree to discretion of is of paramount concern? Of course. I trust we can count on your continued support, Master Alphinaud. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to combat the primal threat. Our support is a given. I will need to send word to my brethren in Revenant's Toll. Our entire order must turn its efforts to prevent this summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I'm sure you would not miss this for the world. Let me fight him. Boy, I'm thirsty. Been talking a lot. Got used to all the voiced cutscenes. I'm not thinking of Desmail. I'm thinking of the when you fight a dragon for the final boss. It must be here, I'm certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it, this is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should be rightly straining every sinew from her. Stop this damnable summoning. Damnation! There she is! Come here, girl. Ul'Dah. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Levier! There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels, after spotting the enemy breaking the surface. But that's not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha! Just as I suspected. Amongst this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphinaud. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we enter the tunnel? For all we know, it could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more of a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter any difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to its escape. Change of plans. While we rendezvous with Ser Aymeric and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. You find Iceheart at the end of it. Do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown, so see that you are prepared for anything. Snow Cloak. I love how the mechanics in this fight just don't matter. I think we'll only get up to 3 stacks, and 4 is what'll hurt you. Mighty Fenrir.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light.
Elaborate, harlot.
I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
And yet I remain skeptical. Did name drop Hydaelyn though. Antecedent, you come to us straight from the archives of House Fortemp. I trust your time there has proved useful. Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life are deeds and sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with the dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Fortemp. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case one wonders if it's by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? She name-dropped Hydaelyn. Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Ser Aymeric might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Upon the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Until the sappers confirm that the tunnel is safe. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I expected, Ser Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Heloni that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms against the Dervanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that questioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service of the Fury. Unquestioning devotion is required. Such a righteous favor may well serve a knight of the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret it in scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the death of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of El. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era, and the scriptures tell us only so much. Would that it told us more. Man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiation table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he truly does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva is real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mughal XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Mughalskar. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the Heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia, they have them both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? There you are, Soapy! Commander Levier instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome. Most of the third hail from Ul'Dah, and for a man accustomed to the feel of the sand beneath his boots, the crunch of the snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand, nary a moment ago I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danifin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself should be taking part in the hunt. Alright. Danifin Pass. Ain't that just like right there? Hey, what up, dudes? I'm through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those bluecoats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Well, stay with him then if you think you'll fare any better. No, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where the blood must not be shed. Yet your land ever thirsts for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it is drunk deep. No, I have done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will, we shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all. Fancy meeting you here, Soapy. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither? What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered the connection. Master Alphinaud is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far and always be watching. Comfort thought. Come, Soapy, let us wait inside for Captain Ilberd to return and deliver his report. Alphinaud, you seem like you're moving a little bit slower. Your joints frozen? You will recall the flame we first identified as being the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. At last the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took necessary steps of detaining all suspected of being conspiracists. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from the House Fortemp. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Once one mystery solved at least, but what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to pinning him? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among Raubah's innermost circle? Someone who had been with him since the Immortal Flames establishment? His most plausible explanation, the infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. Slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Both Limsa and Gridani have long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not the Flames. Ul'Dah's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raubahn faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, in given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now, aye. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Jeez Louise, that was a lot of talking for one step of one quest. Catch my breath. Alright, Ethernet to the Conjurer's Guild. So Alphinaud is telling us to meet him at Nafika's altar? Is that what it's called? That's where we always talk to the Elder Seedseer. But I think that actually we're gonna leave that for next time. There's no way we're gonna reach the end of this patch. We're only like halfway through it, I think. Yeah, we're about halfway through it, so we got a lot left. I'm not gonna stream for 5 hours. So we'll leave that for next time. What's coming up is that 2.5 is actually not to be confused with 2.55. The 2 patches themselves make up, 2 patches worth of content. You can think of 2.55 as being 2.9, where the next logical thing would be 3.0. So, rest 2.4, 2.5, 2.55. And I will see you everybody next time. Bye-bye.